Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. We have an astounding piece of UFO footage here of what I firmly believe to be a secret governmental craft being tested over the hills of Tennessee. Now, this footage was captured by a source who emailed it to me last night, and this was actually captured in a very rural part on the outskirts of Knoxville. And as the source who emailed me, a Mr. Tim Goth, who is actually former military himself, was out walking his dog yesterday, the 26th, when he said that he spotted a strange object moving in between the trees at the top of one of these large hills in the area. And if any of you are from the South or from Appalachia, you know that it's covered in hilly, mountainous terrain like you're seeing in the footage here. And so he said that he saw an object, what he thought was an object, moving very eerily through the trees. He said that it wasn't moving like a drone would, or a helicopter, or even a kite, or anything like that. This craft, whatever it is, was traversing a pretty large chunk of terrain. And so he took out his cell phone and he began recording, and he zoomed in on the hill, and it was basically attempting to see anything in the trees. He had not yet seen the object actually come up above the trees, and according to him, he had not seen the object above the tree line yet. He had just seen something moving within the trees. So as he zooms in on this hill, and he's basically just sort of panning across the tree line where he had last seen the object, when all of a sudden, and as you just saw, we see an object beginning to raise up out of the tree line and up into the air, a distance above the hill. Now at this point, he zoomed in as far as he could on his phone, but what you're seeing is the maximum zoom. He was already basically zoomed in, and he only had a little bit more wiggle room to zoom when the object first appeared. And as you can see, the object raises in the air and looks to be rotating or maneuvering, and as you can see in the video, once it is above the trees, what it looks like, it almost opens up what look like a set of wings. It's almost, you can almost imagine it as a bird floating in the sky and then slowly opening its wings and revealing them. It's what you can see, that whatever this craft is that it's doing, it looks as if it's opening some sort of wing contraption, or basically just some part of the craft. It's impossible to tell what exactly it is, but the craft hovers there for a moment before completely vanishing. And when you slow down the footage and you actually look at it, it looks like this craft is basically moving at what amounts to warp speed, because you can actually see that the craft veers to the right and upward in a split lightning second. And you can actually see this if you replay the footage over and over. You see a small black dot toward the upper right corner right after it vanishes. And as the craft vanishes, you can see what looks like a large blur streak heading to the right and up. So I think what we have seen here is a secret government craft. Another thing, while watching this footage, I saw what looked to be flashing lights on the object at one point. There's a point where it looks like we can see a single flicker or two toward the front of the object, which leads me to believe that this may be, and likely is, a secret government craft of some sort. Although this very well could be an alien craft, especially if it's got the technology to basically jump into nothingness at such a high rate of speed that it basically looks like the object just vanishes in thin air. So again, the source of this footage, who is actually a former Marine, well, he is a Marine. I mean, he did his tour. He ended his tour in Iraq in 2007, and he spoke with me in detail via our emails that he knows for a fact that there are secret government craft being tested, and that he actually saw one of these crafts in Iraq during his tour. And he said that one of the main things about it was that, well, not only did he see it as well as the other soldiers in his group, but he said that it definitely did not look anything like conventional military aircraft. Whatever they are testing is something completely different. It does not look or take the shape of an airplane. It has no need for the setup that an airplane would, where it depends on air currents. Apparently, this is using anti-gravity, which we have heard before. Former military individuals have come out time and time again and admitted on the record, under oath, that they have seen these anti-gravity craft being tested and that the government is testing them, and that some of these anti-gravity craft are back-engineered alien ships that have been captured and or traded with the U.S. government by beings off this planet. If you remember back in the 90s, a British hacker broke in to secret military computers over here in the United States. And if you recall, that British hacker's name was Gary McKinnon. So look him up after you watch this video. And what Gary McKinnon did was hack into the systems and classified files of the U.S. Space Command, which was then incorporated into Strategic Command, and he discovered a number of naval terms such as fleet-to-fleet transfers concerning, quote, non-terrestrial officers. He said that he had found a list of officers' names, and I'm quoting him, under the heading non-terrestrial officers. And from what he could see, that it didn't necessarily mean little green men, but that it likely meant not Earth-based. He said that he found a list of fleet-to-fleet transfers and a list of ship names. He said he looked them up, and they weren't U.S. Navy ships. He said that what he saw made him believe that we had some kind of spaceship off-planet in the logs that he found. He also hacked into NASA's Johnson Space Center, and he found, and I quote, a high-definition picture of a large cigar-shaped object over the northern hemisphere. He said, and I quote, "I was so shocked by the picture that I didn't think to immediately save it. The file size was so large that it was difficult to view it on my computer. Eventually, my connection was lost, and so was the picture." And you have to remember, when he hacked into this system, this was back in the days of the 56K modem and the 28.8 BPS modem. So this was very slow internet, and it took sometimes hours just to view a single picture, if it was large enough. So again, we know that there are off-world craft visiting us, and we know that the government is working on craft in conjunction with these off-world, non-terrestrial officers. And the ship that you're seeing in this video may very well corroborate that, and in my mind, it has. Big thanks again to Tim for sending us this footage and risking, very possibly, his safety to get it to us. Just like I am, is a firm believer that we are not alone. He's seen things during his tour in the military, and he wanted to get this out, and he found that we would be able to get it up and get it to the most people, which is what we're doing right now. So be sure to share this video, get it out there, because if this is something that the government is testing, the video may be taken down, and there may be even a risk posed to me just for posting it. So again, be sure to share, like, and subscribe on your way out. Share this footage. If you have your own footage, please do send it in, just like Tim and thousands of other sources have, and we'll get it out there. So stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming. We're going to follow up on this and stay in contact with our source of this footage. So be sure to check back, and we'll come with updates as soon as we can. Thank you.